Hello ladies and gentlemen, we're back again for another try at the Creature of Havoc. Sorry for the long delay, it's just been one thing after another recently. I just have not had the chance to do this. It's every weekend there was something happening, but back again. This will probably be the last try I have at this, because there's probably going to be more busy weekends, and I just don't want to keep having to wait to do this, so this will probably be the last try. Might do another one, haven't decided yet. Also, one thing I'm going to be doing for this try is, on my laptop here, is, so throughout the book there's these various bits of text that have been untranslated because the character can't, the monster can't understand them. I've gone through the book and I've translated all the text that I could find, so when I come across the gibberish text, I'll tell you what it says, basically. But if sometimes these translated texts actually have an instruction with them, so it will tell you to turn to a certain page. If I haven't actually got the item that I'm supposed to get to translate this stuff, I won't follow the instruction. Because, I'm not supposed to be able to read it yet. So, yeah, without further ado, I'll start by rolling my stats for this run. So we'll start with our skill. Roll the dice. Rolled a 3, putting my skill at 9. That's not too good, but oh well. Stamina. I've rolled 9, so add that to 12, puts my stamina at 21. And my luck. Rolled a 6, so I got a nice high 12 luck. Okay, so let's get to the start of the story. Alright, start the same place we always do. We're in the cavern, and we've woken up, and the dwarf guy, who is still looking pretty wretched here, he's still there. Okay, so we have the option to show him we mean no harm, try to talk to him, or bring your foot down heavily on his neck. Now if I just scroll through my, oops, I haven't got my mouse plugged in, hang on a sec. Yeah, so if I just plug my mouse in, scrolled through my translations here, one of the things you can turn to actually has him say something. So I will turn to, so if it says here, if I turn to 185, let's actually read out what it says. So you stand there staring, the creature's eyes flick open. They focus across your bulky shape, and a look of terror streaks across the creature's face. In spite of its pain, it fumbles for and grasps the shiny shaft, holding its pointy end out towards you and baring its teeth. The wounded dwarf you have found is evidently in need of help. Will you show him you mean no harm, try to talk to him, or bring your foot down heavily on his neck? So I'm going to turn to 185, which is bring our foot down heavily on his neck. So, the little creature screams in horror as you raise your foot over its head. And it says, blah 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 blah. Now what it says is LFBVFEMFEBLPNF. But if you go through the translation, he's saying, leave me alone. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be reading out the translated text. So, leave me alone, it squeals, though I don't understand it, as it swings the sharp sword in its hand towards your leg. But the blow is weak and glances off your tough scales. You feel nothing. A second later, you're looking down with mixed feelings at the lifeless form of the dwarf. Will you examine the body, hide the body, or quickly leave the area? Might as well examine it, I suppose. I think that's how we get the... Actually, we examine it anyway, because we don't have much control at this point. But so we'll examine the body. So, your hands relax and sharp claws retract into your fingers. You clumsily fumble through the dwarf's dirty vestments. Your fingers do not fit into the pockets, but you do succeed in snapping the thongs of a large leather pouch which the creature has around its waist. As the ties break, the pouch spills its contents onto the ground in front of you. It contains several circular pieces of shiny metal and a piece of hide, which unfolds as it drops out of the pouch. It is light in colour and has markings all over one side. You pick it up awkwardly and look at it, but make no sense of it at all. You become quite fascinated by this piece of leather. You turn it round, rub it with your hands, throw it in the air. You place it on your arm and on your head. You decide to take the leather with you. So we have the piece of leather. I will write that down on my thing. Piece of leather. Unknown to you, the message on the hide may be useful late in your adventure. Turn to 337 to examine the message. So I turn to 337 to look at it. Now, of course, before we couldn't read it because it was just gibberish. But I've got the translation, so... yeah, it's just all gibberish, jumbled up letters. So I will turn to 337 in my translation and we can have a look at it. So it reads, Swinebeard of Yore, which I think Swinebeard was the name of the dwarf we just killed. You have been found guilty of the crime of willful and malicious arson, a most serious offence in the dry regions of Salamonis. Don't know where that is. As punishment, you are sentenced to undertake a perilous mission of recovery. You must travel northwards and enter the underground domain of Zaradan Mar, there to seek out and recover flasks containing whirling vapours. These are the vapours of Stittle Woad. You must find 3 flasks containing these vapours and return them to this court. On no account must they be opened. This is the sentence of the court, and the geas has been cast. This is your punishment. You must succeed in your mission or die in the attempt. Underneath this writing is more, but written in a different style. It reads, Vapour of Knowledge, Flaxen Mane of Silverton, Winged Helmet. Oop, I just lost my page. Oh, I slipped. I lost the page. Where'd I go? Give me a sec. I'm going to find that now. Okay, found my page again. Yeah, so that was the letter that Swinebeard was carrying, the piece of leather. Let me zoom out a bit here. So that's what the piece of leather read. So basically the dwarf was in the cave because he had to find the vapour thingies that we've been finding throughout the book. And of course we've just stamped on him, so I mean, he did burn... it says he committed arson, so I guess he did deserve it. Anyway, where were we? As you may have realised by now, your own wishes have little effect on your reactions as a creature. You have only glimpses of what you are like and what you are capable of, although this will change as the adventure progresses. At this stage, you are at the mercy of your own whims and instincts. You are standing at a junction where you may go either east or west. So let's get the dice and see which way we go. I rolled 2. Turn to 308. I think that's already the wrong way, but can't do anything about that. Yeah, that's already the wrong way. You travel west along a twisting passageway. Several times you bump clumsily into the walls and grunt in annoyance, but your tough scales protect you from damage. The temperature drops noticeably and each breath sends steamy snorts from your nostrils. After narrowing slightly, the passage widens as it leads towards a chamber. A sound from ahead and a flickering light warn you to take care. But rather than making you stop and listen, the prospect of an encounter seems to excite you. You bare your teeth and your claws and stride forward into the chamber. Turn to 205. Yeah, I think no matter which direction you take, you end up fighting these guys. It's just how quickly you get there depends on which direction you go. Roaring like an enraged demon, you rush into the open chamber, ready to take on whatever's inside. Terrified shrieks come from the small party of adventurers huddling round a makeshift campfire in the centre of the area. 3 figures are warming themselves by the fire. One wears shiny clothes that clink as he moves. Another is dressed in red, and also grows long dark hair from his chin. The third is a tiny creature with polished hide on his chest. He has no hair on his chin, but has plenty on his feet, which he's been holding up to warm at the fire. Your eyes gaze on the smallest of the 3. Your breathing gets heavier, and a feeling of pure hatred grips you. Without hesitating, you stomp across and grab the miserable hobbit with your claws. The other 2 are caught off balance and are slow to react. The hobbit has no weapon and should be an easy victim. So, now we start fighting the hobbit. So, the hobbit has, grab my pen, hobbit has a skill of 5 and a stamina of 6. If you defeat the creature in 3 straight attack rounds, turn to 160. If it takes longer than that, turn to 86. So, I have rolled 3, that's not great, so that puts my skill at 12. The hobbit has rolled, he has rolled 7, also putting him at 12. So that's a draw, which means I haven't actually hit him. Okay, I can still win this if I roll a double. I have rolled 4. Again, that's not great, that's 13. He has rolled 8. Also 13. Come on, if I don't one-shot him, I'm going to have to... That's going to take longer than 3 turns. I have rolled 3. That puts me at 12. He has rolled 8, putting him at 13. I've actually got hurt by the Hobbit. I take 1 damage. Keep rolling those dice though. Oh, I've rolled 11 this time. Thank you. That means I hurt him. So he can't roll higher than that. So I've taken his stamina down to 4. And this Hobbit actually hit me. I think that's the first time that's ever happened. I've rolled 10. He can't beat that. So I've hit him down to 2. And I've rolled 3, taking me up to 12. He's rolled 11. For God's sake. This is one tough Hobbit. I've rolled 10, thus insta-killing him when he only had 1 hit left. Ah! That's probably going to end up bad for me. So it took longer than 3 rounds, turned to 86. Where are we? When you have finally killed the little creature, you must turn your attention to the other 2 humans. While you have been battling their companion, they've been preparing to attack. The red-robed figure is facing you, pointing the little finger of each hand at you and mumbling. The shiny human has grabbed a sword, similar, you remember, to the dwarfs, but larger, and is shouting to the other, blah 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 blah, which translates to, control its mind, shaman. It may be able to lead us to that swine-beard cur. Yeah, so these guys are actually looking for the dwarf. And of course, I don't think they realise we've already killed him. You cannot fight both at once. Which will you direct your attention towards? Roll 1 dice. If you roll 1 to 4, you decide to take on the shining figure. If you roll 5 or 6, you turn towards the man in red. I think we want a 5 or 6. If we don't get it, I think we actually lose already. Let's see what we get. 3. Great. This might be quite a short run. I might have to start again. Or should I just pretend I didn't roll that 3 and let's just keep going, shall we? Yeah, let's pretend. I didn't roll 3 at all. I rolled a... Ooh, look at that. It's a 6. See, I rolled 6. So we turn towards the man in red. 292. Oh, don't pretend like you've never done that before. Your reaction is immediate. The red-robed human is deep in thought and looks an easy target. You step forward and swipe viciously at him with your claws. He screams and falls to the ground, clutching at his face. You look down at the undefended wretch and prepare to deliver the death blow, but at that moment you feel a terrible sting in the back, which causes you to bellow and swing round. The remaining adventurer has lunged at you with his sword and has succeeded in piercing the scales and flesh on your back. You must lose 2 stamina points for the wound and then face the knight in plate armour. So we've got hurt a little bit again, taking us down to 17, and we're facing the knight, who has 8 skill and 9 stamina. Now, somewhere here, I've got the translation of what the if you don't go after the shaman first, he will take over your mind. Somewhere here I've got a translation of what he says. Just give me a sec. It's around here somewhere. Yeah, he says, "You are now under my control, foul creature. All my wishes are your commands. Gather my comrades and follow me." So he will take control. If you don't deal with the shaman first, he does take control of your mind and it is game over. So we face the knight. I start by roll. He's only got 1 skill less than me. This might be tricky. I start by rolling 7. The knight rolls also 7, so I hit him, taking his stamina down to 7. I roll 5, that's not good. He rolls 2, so I hit him again, taking him down to 5. I roll 7, getting a lot of 7s recently. He rolls 6. Good luck for me. Taking him down to 3 health. I roll 8. He rolls 7. Man, I'm just getting 1 less each time. I roll 2, which is a double, so I kill him instantly when he had 1 point of health left. This is going to be a pretty bad luck run, I think. Oh well. If you defeat the knight's turn to 446. The knight is dead, so we turn to 446. You deliver the death blow and the knight drops to the ground. With the danger now over, your thoughts turn to food. The smell of still warm Hobbit reaches your nostrils and your mouth begins to water. You snatch the creature in one hand and eagerly sink your teeth into its sweet flesh. But this will merely provide a snack for you. Inside his armour, the knight is an impossible meal, but the red-robed wizard groaning on the floor may be a new taste for you to savour. You silence his miserable whimpers with a single deadly slash from your claws. For the tasty meal, you may restore your stamina to its initial level. So we are now fully healed again. So it doesn't matter that the Hobbit hit us a lot, because we're back up again. After you have eaten, you rummage through the adventurers' belongings. Their packs have little to interest you. The Hobbit carries a miniature sword, and you find a rolled-up piece of thin parchment in the wizard's robe. All three humans carry odd-shaped lumps of a doughy substance, perhaps food, although it smells of nothing to you. Talking too much makes my nose bung up. They also have small hide pouches containing round, flat objects of shiny metal. You cannot think what these may be for, so you toss them aside. No, don't, it's money. You must now continue your journey. Passages lead off from the chamber to the north, east and west. You decide to take the passageway to the west. Leaving the chamber, you leave the chamber, your way ahead lit by flickering fire. Eventually the fire's light becomes too distant to help and you're groping your way in pitch blackness. Suddenly a high-pitched twittering sound comes from above you, followed by others. You have disturbed this group of flying creatures, which are now squeaking in alarm as they dart about you. You swipe at them blindly and catch one or two as they dive at you and scratch with sharp claws, but your scales protect you from any serious harm, and soon you're further along the passage, where these creatures evidently do not venture. You follow it around the bend and the passage turns north. You follow it around the bend and stop right in front of a wooden door. There's no other way forwards. Will you heave at the door with your shoulder, or is there something else you wish to do? Roll 1 dice. So let's see what we roll. I rolled a 6, so I turned to 101. The door cracks under the force of your blow. A hole appears and you rip timbers away until it's large enough for you to pass through. Torches are mounted on the wall of the room inside, and there are 2 doors, one to the east and one to the west. There is no furniture to speak of, but some remains, perhaps of a table and chair littering the floor among a thin covering of dirty straw. The wood has been broken in what appears to be a furious battle, the results of which lie before you. Alright, so this is the room with the dead knights and the dead orcs, and the invisible creatures eating them, so I can't be bothered to read out a whole page of text just to talk about these guys again. Roll 1 dice. If we roll 1, 2 or 3, we investigate. If we roll 4, 5 or 6, we quickly run off. Roll a 4. So we head quickly for the door to the east. 1, 6, 8. 1, 6, 8. There we go. You make your way cautiously towards the door, horrified by the sight of the bodies slowly disappearing. As you step across one of the pug-nosed creatures, your foot catches something in the air. A screeching noise from somewhere is followed by a yelp of pain from you as sharp teeth clamp into your foot. Lose 2 stamina points. God dang it. I think we kicked one of the invisible things by mistake. The shock causes you to tumble over and this frees your foot. But as you lift yourself up, something is happening in the room. 3 shapes are materialising in front of you. Turn to 447. Right, so I got to fight them anyway? I'll fight them. I fought them last time. Yep, so there's the picture of the creatures again. I saw that one before, but your eyes widen as 3 scrawny creatures form before you. They are thin and angular and move with quick, jerky motions, covered in scraggly fur. They're the flesh feeders. We already know this. Let's fight them already. So, they have skill of 6, 6, and 6. That 6 looks a bit like a 0. That would be too easy to fight them if they were 0. And they've got stamina of 6, 7, and 6. So, start by rolling for my skill. I roll 2. That immediately kills the first one. So that one is dead. But it doesn't give me much chance of defending against the others, because I've only got skill of 9. One of them rolls 6, which means I get hurt, so I'm now down to 18. And the other one rolls... the other one rolls 5, taking up to 11, so that's a draw. I've rolled 11. They can't hurt me either way, so That means I damage this one, taking it down to 5. I have rolled 10. Again, I don't think they can catch up to that. No, they can't. So I have hurt this one again, taking it down to 3. Roll the dice. I've done 7, taking me up to 16. They can still fight against that. First one rolls 9, taking him up to 15, so he doesn't hit me. Next one rolls 4, doesn't hit me. I hit this one, taking him down to 1 health. Getting some good rolls here. I've rolled 5. Damn it, I jinxed it. That one rolled 6, taking him to 12. That one rolled 6, taking him to 12. I have killed another flesh feeder. That's good, only one left. I've rolled 12, that's doubles. He is dead. Flesh feeder's dead. If you defeat them, turn to 89. Yeah, I defeated them.